The cameras flashed, the crowd froze, and just like that, Hollywood had a new obsession.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it was easily the pop culture moment of the decade.
Welcome to StarScope Report. Join us as we uncover Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and, viral influencer scandals.
Right. From red carpet surprises to social media controversies, we dive deep into the stories behind the fame.
And our deep dive today is built around a headline that still kind of blows my mind. The headline is literally, Adam Sandler's wedding advice surprised Taylor Swift fans.
Which is a sentence I never thought I would actually say out loud.
Right. It sounds like a total Mad Lib. But to really understand this advice, we first have to set the scene of the event itself.
Yeah, we're pulling from coverage by CNN, Parade, and the Economic Times today, and they all paint a picture of an event that was basically a high-stakes security operation wrapped in performance art.
Exactly. Okay, let's unpack this. July 3rd, 2026, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce finally tie the knot. But they don't do it at a quiet estate. They do it right in the middle of Manhattan at Madison Square Garden.
Madison Square Garden. I mean, renting out a 20,000-seat gladiatorial arena for 1,000 guests is just, it's a fascinating study in contrast.
It's totally wild. Renting out MSG for a wedding is like throwing a family dinner at the Super Bowl, It's this massive public space repurposed for their most intimate moment.
Yeah, and they managed this incredible balancing act. Inside, it was this impenetrable fortress of privacy. But outside...
Oh, outside, they fed the beast. The digital billboards wrapping the arena were literally flashing JUST&T MARRIED.
Which is such a brilliant strategy. If you try to completely shut the public out of something this huge, the paparazzi will inevitably breach your perimeter.
So they give them a spectacle to look at instead.
Nope.
Oh, and fans waiting on the sidewalks, they were handed pastry boxes that everyone believed were straight from the reception.
That is just masterclass parasocial management. They're basically saying, we see you, we appreciate you, but the actual core of this event belongs to us.
Totally. And that core inside the arena was heavily guarded by absolute cultural royalty.
Oh, the guest list defies logic. I mean, you have Paul McCartney stepping up to sing the Beatles classic, I Want to Hold Your Hand.
Wow.
Yeah, and Stevie Nicks made an appearance too. Plus, visually, Swift anchored the whole thing in high fashion. She wore a custom dress by Jonathan Anderson.
Right, the creative director for Dior and founder of J.W. Anderson. So the production level is just off the charts.
It really was the absolute zenith of their respective industries.
Which is what makes the leaks about the actual ceremony so interesting, because guests like George Stephanopoulos and AMC CEO Adam Aron shared that behind all that gloss, the couple wrote their own vows.
And Adam Aron described those vows as vulnerable, serious, silly, and deeply loving.
Yeah, he said they were this endearing exploration of how they met and how they were joining their families.
Which brings us to the altar itself. For a billion-dollar production with 1,000 celebrities watching, logically, you'd expect a global dignitary to officiate.
And that's not even the wildest part of the story, because they went in a completely different direction.
They really did. And if you're loving these Hollywood twists, make sure you subscribe. We've got even crazier stories ahead.
Yes, definitely hit subscribe. Because the person holding the microphone at the altar was none other than comedy legend Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler, just standing there at Madison Square Garden.
Okay, I have to play devil's advocate here. Isn't it a huge risk having, crazy comedian officiate your vows? Weren't they worried he might turn the whole thing into a celebrity roast?
On the surface, it seems like a massive gamble. But if you analyze the psychology of fame at their level, it actually makes perfect sense.
How so?
Well, when every single interaction in your life is hyper-produced and intensely scrutinized, the most valuable commodity you can find is authentic normalcy.
Oh, I get that. Sandler definitely gives off that unpretentious, everyday guy vibe.
Exactly, and there's a real, genuine foundation there. Sandler and Kelce formed a really tight bond recently when Kelce filmed a cameo for Happy Gilmore 2.
Right.
Sandler has praised Kelce to the media, calling him a stud, a gentle, nice guy, and funny as hell. He even said hanging out with Kelce reminds him of his high school buddies.
Just guys hanging out without their resumes in the room. And on Swift's side, Sandler and his two daughters, Sunny and Sadie, are well-known Swifties.
So that familial fondness was already there. What's fascinating here is that by choosing Sandler, they were forcefully anchoring this heavily scrutinized event in humor and approachability.
They didn't want a theatrical persona. They just wanted Adam Sandler.
Exactly. It's the ultimate anti-spectacle choice in the middle of the ultimate spectacle.
And later in the episode, we'll talk about the shocking twist nobody saw coming regarding how Sandler actually feels about all this attention.
Yeah, his reaction afterward is amazing. But first, let's look at the ceremony itself, because he didn't roast them. He balanced the humor with profound sincerity.
We actually found out what he said thanks to Kansas City Chiefs head coach Andy Reid.
Coach Reid,
Yeah.
who, by the way, attended with his wife Tammy, and they've been married since 1981.
Which is basically a geological epoch in sports and entertainment years. Coach Reid spoke at an event in Salt Lake City on July 5th, just 2 days after the wedding.
Right, and he said Sandler was phenomenal. But the thing that really resonated with him wasn't a joke. It was Sandler's core piece of marriage advice.
Sandler's grand wisdom for the most famous couple in the world was just 2 words: keep kissing.
Keep kissing.
Yeah. He told them to kiss every chance they get, every single day. Whether you're going to bed or going to work, just go ahead and kiss her.
Coach Reid quoted him saying, "Knock it out and you won't have problems."
It's so incredibly simple.
It is, but from a neurological standpoint, it's actually a survival mechanism for high-stress environments.
Wait, really? How does that work?
Well, when you engage in physical touch like a kiss, your brain releases a surge of oxytocin, which is the bonding hormone.
Okay.
But more importantly, it actively suppresses cortisol, your primary stress hormone. It literally forces your nervous system to downregulate.
Oh, wow. So it's a biological circuit breaker?
Exactly. And think about the lives these two lead. Reid noted that Kelce's honeymoon was going to be brief because he had to report back to NFL training camp later in the month.
Right, and going into an NFL camp is like stepping into a human centrifuge. And Swift is simultaneously managing a global empire.
The sensory overload they experience daily is unimaginable. A daily kiss is a physical interruption of that external noise. It reminds your brain that before you are a pop star or a tight end, you are a partner.
Think about your own daily routine, you know? How often do we let the busyness of life, a stressful job, or in Travis Kelce's case, an NFL training camp, become an excuse to skip the simplest moments of connection?
We do it all the time. And the authority behind this advice comes from Sandler's own life. He's been married to his wife, Jackie, for 22 years.
Which is the ultimate counterculture flex in Hollywood. He has navigated the exact same pitfalls of immense wealth and public scrutiny and kept his relationship intact.
But the paradox here, and this is that twist we teased earlier, is that despite giving this universally praised advice, Sandler totally rejects being called a marriage guru.
He practically runs from it. Shortly after the wedding, he was at the New York Film Festival for the premiere of his Netflix movie, J. Kelly.
Yeah, and E! News asked him about his viral wedding advice.
And his immediate instinct was to deflect. He flat out told them he is not an advice giver.
He even said Kelce doesn't need advice because, quote, he loves her more than anything, just like I love my wife more than anything.
He boils it down to its most fundamental truth. If the love is there, the mechanics just work themselves out.
And then he shared his ultimate philosophy for them. He said, to be happy together, be yourself together. That's where they're at, and that's where me and my girl are at.
Be yourself together. It sounds so simple, but it tackles this huge psychological burden.
Especially for them. The modern relationship industry is this multi-billion-dollar machine. One of our sources even mentioned that numerologists were publicly issuing Swift and Kelce advice.
Ugh, the cognitive load of constantly being perceived and advised by the entire planet must be deafening.
Oh, completely. Sandler's non-advice trips away all that noise. He's pointing out that a successful relationship isn't about executing complex strategies.
Right.
It's about authentic partnership. If you can't just sit in a quiet room and be your weird, unfiltered self with your partner, the rest of the infrastructure will collapse.
So what does this all mean? Is this the ultimate secret to surviving a high-profile relationship?
Yeah.
Just ignoring the world's expectations and being authentic?
I think so. And Sandler lives this. The Economic Times quoted him saying, no matter the job, try to keep your family close. You don't want to be apart from the people you love.
And he actually operationalizes that. He famously hires his friends and family for his movies, so he never has to choose between his career and his core circle.
It's a remarkable synthesis of ambition and grounding. You can have the Madison Square Garden wedding, you can wear the Dior dress, but none of that is the marriage.
Yeah, the marriage is the quiet moment in the hallway before you leave for work. It's wild to think about the journey we just took through these sources. We started with a fortress in Manhattan, 1,000 celebrities, PR strategies.
And the thing that broke through all of that was a comedian reminding two superstars to just kiss before they leave the house.
Keep kissing, keep your family close, and be yourselves together. It's a philosophy you can implement the second this deep dive ends, whether you have global fame or a standard 9 to 5.
It really leaves you with a final, deeply provocative thought to mull over.
Yeah, what is it?
If a massive billion-dollar celebrity wedding can be spiritually anchored by the simplest of human gestures, a daily kiss, what does that say about how the rest of us overcomplicate our own milestones?
Oh, wow. That is a great question.
Do we spend too much time worrying about the production of our lives, like the perfect photos or venues, and not enough time focusing on the actual connection?
I think we absolutely do. Maybe the real fortress isn't a venue at all. Maybe it's just the decision to tune out the noise and promise to keep kissing every single day.
When everything else fades, the connection is the only fortress that lasts.
Stay tuned and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming next. You've been listening to StarScope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.